If you are a fan of survival crafting games such as Valheim or Ark Survival Evolved or even Minecraft, then you want to take a look at this game, which is Nightingale. That is what we're going to be covering in today's video, and over the next series of previews on lots of different games, Nightingale is going to be one of the ones that I'm looking at in particular. It's a really cool looking game. We've had a bunch of information on it. I'm going to go through what we know and give you a breakdown. What is up, guys? It's Jimbo here, and welcome back to another video. So to start out, let's just talk about what Nightingale is. It's an open world survival crafting game like many other games in its genre, but this is made by Inflection Games. They are a studio that is made up of a bunch of people, but a lot of ex-BioWare devs, and they really wanted to change the crafting game landscape by giving you a deep amount of lore in the game and not just having you start, you go out and you find and you craft and you have the loop that you usually do. You're going out and you're finding interesting pieces of lore that builds out the world alongside all of the different survival crafting elements. It is in a Victorian gas lamp setting, which basically is like the Victorian era, but it plays upon a lot of the different mysteries and fables, different tales that we got to see from that time period. And you'll obviously be, trying to get to the capital city, which is the city named Nightingale. Hopefully we'll see that at some point in the future when the full launch of the game comes out. But the whole concept is you are a realm walker. You are trying to uncover mysteries that has separated you and put you into these different realms, and then obviously you're trying to get back to the city and also carve out a life for yourself in these different areas, whether that's building your base, this type of stuff that you do in a survival crafting game. Realms have their own specific visual style and also creatures, resources, and points of interest. There's going to be a variety of different creatures that you're probably going to be going up against. I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a moment. But the really cool thing about this is that you have control of what you get to see in these realms. So you create the realms using a card system. And this card system will allow you to cater the realm to your needs. For example, a jungle or a Feywild or a desert or a snowy. We could see that. We don't know how many biomes there are at the moment. This is just me taking stuff from the trailer. And there's also a certain resource that you may need from those areas that you will need to go and access these realm gates to be able to go through, to then obviously come back and then hopefully add to your base and search. The game will have that similar basic loop, which is gather, craft, search for creatures that you need to get recipes, get better gear, and start exploring. And the reason why I like this so much is because it gives you a little bit of ownership of what you want to try and find, where you want to go in these different biomes using the realms, rather than just having to trek like hundreds and hundreds of miles potentially to another biome in a lot of different crafting games, which I find can be a little tedious at times, but obviously that's the nature of it. You can build, in some games they do give you the option of like portals to fast travel and stuff, but I'm hopeful that we will have a good system with this realm system. There will be a variety of tools that you will need to collect these resources as well, alongside weapons and gear to craft, and even the ability to imbue items with magical powers. There's a variety of different melee weapons, from axes, most likely clubs, and there's range weapons such as muskets. Hopefully there's like a flintlock revolver or some crazy magical type weapons, but you will get to cast magic as well, as we do get to see a glimpse of it in the trailer. Whether or not those magical abilities will have effects on the weapons that you use, or they're just kind of like shockwave effects or lightning effects that you get to use that deal damage, or you can combine them with weapons to make something completely unique. I spoke about creatures earlier, but there will be a bunch of creatures that you're going to need to use your weapons on in order to generate your resources, get recipes, and ultimately progress throughout the game. These can range from harpies, massive giants, things from folklore like Victorian era fairy tales, but the main enemy that you'll be going up against are the Fae. They created the Bound, which are like these human-esque type demons that will be chasing you down and hopefully trying to destroy your bases and also causing you a lot of problems. Alongside other a variety of different factions in the game, there will be things such as minions and boss enemies, so you will have a bit of a challenge. You're going to want to team up with some friends, or even if you're solo, you're going to want to prepare to make sure that you're able to beat them in, and ultimately progress through the game a lot more, and it adds that little bit of extra challenge. They will not only fight you out in the wild, they'll actually hunt you down and attack your bases when they get the chance, so you're probably going to want to have your defenses ready and have something set up to be able to counteract that. And the cool thing about that is that not only will you have those enemies attacking you, but there will be NPCs and like quest givers out in the game that you can potentially recruit, and they can help you with the building process of your bases and such, alongside a lot of the lore and the things that the ex-BioWare devs are adding. The cool thing is having the NPCs that are able to recruit. You can use them to build bases on your preset requests, go and gather resources for you. You're able to expand them and just automate a lot of the stuff that you're doing, which is something that I haven't seen done in a lot of games. A lot of the time you have to go and gather all the resources and have to do that type of stuff. So that little bit of automation alongside the AI effect, whether or not they can defend with you when you get your bases attacked, we don't know just yet, but that'll be something that I'll be really eagerly awaiting, and hopefully that gets announced at some point in the future. This will be a shared world co-op game, and you'll be working together with your friends or with other players to beat tougher bosses, and is fully co-op PvE. There is no PvP in this game. They want to keep it strictly PvE, and I like that. It means that you're going to be able to have this collaborative effort, and hopefully you and a couple of friends can jump in. I would hopefully like to start a server at some point when the game does come out, and if we've got any viewers that want to join and we can build a little base community there, that would be pretty cool as well. It's hopefully going to be coming out later this year, maybe in December time, October time, who knows, but I will be eagerly awaiting that announcement, and if we get any huge updates on the game, I'll be sure to cover it, similar to how I did with V Rising. And there's going to be a large amount of content that drops at launch, even in the early access, so they could eventually add more realms, add more story beats, add more bosses and such, and I really like that. I think V Rising really touched on the survival aspect and how the survival crafting games could be expanded upon, and I think Nightingale is also expanding on that as well. Just a couple of notes and things that I like. I like the visual style as well. I like the way that the game looks, and the graphically it looks pretty decent. How well that will run on modern hardware, I don't know. Whether or not it's going to chunk, whether or not it's going to be a solid FPS, we don't know just yet, but hopefully we'll get our hands on the game, like maybe there's a beta, or if we just go straight into early access, just to see how the game is. But I have rambled quite a bit here, and hopefully this has shown you why I'm excited for the game, why you should be excited for the game, and what exactly Nightingale is. For a final recap, open world survival game, bunch of different realms that you can go and explore, NPCs that you can recruit, creatures to fight, enemies to fight, base building, co-op PvE, it's all there, and I'm excited to see when it launches that we get our hands on it. And you have enjoyed this video and it has been helpful, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn on the notification bell. And as always, this has been Jimbo, and I'll see you guys next time.